Um, hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a live stream here in the darkroom, and I was developing some 8x10 and 4x5, and I had some time to kill because this takes a while and it's pretty boring. So I decided to do a live stream. I know it's 12:30 in Spain, so it's like 3:30 in the West Coast and like 6:30 in the East Coast. So that's for the United States. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be sleeping, but still, I thought it'd be cool to show a little live stream of the studio in the darkroom once again. I'm developing some 8x10 shots that I did for a project a while ago. So these have been waiting forever. I had two boxes of Fomapan 100. I actually shot 200 sheets. This one's empty, finally, and this one is jam-packed. So I'm developing this box right now. There's 5 shots in there, which is this tank, the Jobo 3005, which is the best tank for 8x10. No matter what people say, this is the best tank by all means. It takes 5 sheets, uses like a liter. I put a liter, people say half a liter is fine. I just rather be careful. So yeah, and I actually just poured the developer. It's got another 4 minutes. It's 6 minutes with HC 110, which is something that people ask. I use Kodak's HC 110 for everything. Yeah, I wish Tetanol made something like this. I would totally move to it. Okay, so tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm having a live stream or an interview with Tetanol. I might get the, CEOs, I think the lawyers and whatnot to talk, ask about the current situation, about Safe Tetanol, how they're struggling because of the insolvency and the problems they've had. So if you guys have any questions you want to hear, I highly recommend you leave a comment on here or through social media, let me know. I'm going to be writing some notes this afternoon and maybe post a few things so people send it through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But yeah, I want to show you the lab right now. I'm using a little stabilizer. So yeah, 3 more minutes. Let me show you quickly what's on. This Jobo is actually broken, sadly. I gotta fix it, so that's been long overdue. Let me show you. This is a picture that will be on, on the Photo Classic International soon, and it's a Mamiya RZ shot with Portra 400. You can see it's just gaffer taped just to see how it looks. And this is on the Mamiya RZ67, and it's just printed at 1 meter. And I want you guys, I know it's my phone camera, and it's the front-facing camera, but look at the quality. Like, you can't really tell so much that it's just being blown up to 1 meter. If someone's curious, this is 1 meter tall. Following broken computer, gotta fix that. And there's another shot, that's my film fridge. There's another shot here that's also going to be in the I hope it's going to be on the Photo Classic International. It's not metering right, but also look at the details on that. It's amazing. Like, I know it's a front-facing camera on a phone, but I'm very proud of this and how it turned out. So I picked up a bit of my studio sitting room. That's where I nap when I'm tired. And film fridge, which is what people love to see. It's not all mine, but mostly. And yeah, guys, I am developing. I actually developed some 4x5 just before, which is drying here. You actually can't see it from the angle, but there's 5 sheets. This was all shot with Campbell wide, which I'm testing out for a friend. Basically loaned it to me, and yesterday I did some tests, so you can actually see against a white background. You can actually see Campbell wide shots. That was actually just posted on my Instagram account if you want to see behind the scenes. But it's a 65mm 4x5 camera that just can shift up and down or left and right. And for left and right or up and down, you got to shift the cone. So that is what I hopefully want to print a few of those today. At the same time, let me see how long we have here. We have 38 seconds, so let me just put you guys down on a Jobo tank. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me see if that won't fall. Freehand. So now I'm going to go to the spot bath. So I use a liter in this tank. It's what works, I think, best, just in case. I rather, make the error of too much chemistry instead of too little chemistry. You can hear it beeping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This tank's so heavy, so what I do is I lift it with both my hands and the little arm. The arm that Jobo supplies, I feel, is not strong enough in most cases. It doesn't break, but it feels like you're jamming the tank. So that's the developer. Now press to stop, and now I pour the stop bath. And I pour it, all of it in there. I'm not going to recycle the stop bath this time, so I'm just closing this and putting it down. So that's a minute. This is, as I said, foam 8x10. And there's some portraits I did like in May at a photography festival in Barcelona. And I shot 205, 210 portraits in a day, basically, on 8x10. So it's pretty crazy. Someone's got to study. Hey, hello from Transylvania. That's pretty cool. Hello from Spain. If I look a little wonky, it's because I have like a strain on my neck, so I can't move my head all the way. That's almost done. Fixer, fresh fixer, every single time. I don't recycle the fixer. I don't want to have problems. So stop bath is going to go down. That's finished. And now we're going to go with fix. I also usually fix a little longer than what they recommend, just in case. I guess I'm a little paranoid on the, longevity of my film. So if there's serious work, I fix a little bit more and super fresh fixer. And this one I'll recycle for more film maybe. But yeah, guys, that's 8 minutes. So I'm gonna wash my hands. I got a bit of fixture in my hands. I usually never use gloves, even though you should. But just because, I don't know, I do a lot of other things meanwhile. And meanwhile, while that's fixing, I've been warming up. Let me show you. And these prints I'm actually pretty happy with. I don't know if I can flip the camera around. Will it let me flip the camera around? Yeah. So these prints I did on today's Sunday, so Friday. Friday was a local holiday. So these are trying out a 28 Sue Maran from Leica. The old version, the screw mount, the LTM. That's one. I have different versions. I usually do different ones because when there's a dry down, you can see actually there's details on the white pavement or paint. That's just my kid. This was one armed done, so let me show you guys. Let me flip it around. So that was basically shot with me with one arm just pointing down. The good thing about the 28 is it has superb depth of field, so you don't really have to focus so much. It was all pushed at 1600 HP5. And let me show you guys. I also have another shot that I'm really proud of. These are pretty much the test strips. Sometimes I keep them just to have a reference. Sometimes I don't. This is another shot that I posted on my Instagram account. This is T-Max 3200 shot on a Canon EF Black Beauty with a 50mm 1.8. And yeah, it's grainy, and yeah, it's not exactly the most focused picture. But this was a moment my kid was coming back from ballet. She was exhausted. That's why she has her eye makeup on. And this is just the elevator. Let me find the real one. It's somewhere here. These are ballet shots from my bigger kid. So this is the final print. I love the print, honestly. I don't show a lot of work online, mostly because I like doing this and not scanning. So if I scan this, I probably would dislike the picture. But this print looks amazing. That's the grain mixed with probably some compression from YouTube and my phone. That's just the elevator. That's actually like the brand of the elevator there. But I don't know what's in the middle here. Probably my wife or my other kid. But I really like this image. This was, Canon EF, an FD camera with a 50mm 1.8. This is like a lens that you get for like $15-20, but honestly, the film's more expensive than the lens, but still can render really good. So that's there. And then there's this other shot with the Sumeron. I could not compose. I was just basically guesstimating. And this shot came out really nice. She's actually eating a cookie. Had to burn a lot of the white rail and her white coat, but it actually looks much better once it dried. Remember, this is fiber-based paper. That's why I'm gonna warm it up and, you know, try to make it look like a flat image. But the good thing about these things is it always has a bit of dry down, that the images darken a little bit when they dry. So when if you make the print look awesome to your eye, it'll also always get a little darker, and I have a few over there. But this is just a 28mm Sumeron lens that people probably oversee because it's an old lens. It's a 5.6, and yeah, you can see how good it renders. I mean, I love the reflection. I love that it looks like it kind of fills in for the void. I love the fact that the rail's there and there's detail, even though you can't really tell on the phone. My eldest eating a cookie. This was shot on Friday, developed and printed on Friday or Thursday, I can't remember. So this is being basically a shot that I did this same week, and it's already printed. And then yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be putting everything in here to flatten and make these prints, you know, be able to hang them on the wall. Another things that are coming to the channel is Cat Labs CL81 reel. I'm going to do some testing on that. I also got the Pally 6x14 thanks to a viewer that sent it to me, Hogarth Ferguson. He's been on the live streams a few times, so I'm actually very happy to test this out. And another thing that I haven't shown yet, but let me see. In here, we have another camera that I've received that I'm really excited about. Some Adox HR Dev. I'm going to be testing that film soon. And it has a specific developer. And this is another 3D printed camera. And this is a 6x17 made. It looks super dusty, but it's just the box probably. Comes with a viewfinder, which I thought was awesome. 3D printed, as you can kind of tell. Super Anglon 90mm f8 by Malefic Cameras. These people are not really well known yet, but I really like the camera. It's a 6x17, 6x12, and 6x9 camera. Has a little viewfinder here, which I don't know if I can make you guys see it. Let me see. You can tell it's like handmade, but hey, it looks pretty good. So this is going to be tested soon. Probably also compare it to the Pally camera that's over there. And I got the lens somewhere in here. It's a 90mm f8 Super Anglon, which I happen to have because I got a travel wide, a second one, and it came with this lens. So this is going to go first onto the 6x17. And I'm curious because I've heard a lot of things that it won't cover, but I'm curious. Also a solar can, which I got to test. The reel that I told you guys. But yeah, let's get back in the darkroom and see what you guys, anything you want to see, let me know. I know you guys have seen this darkroom a few times, but maybe someone's new and is curious. That's my enlarger. It's a British brand called Devere, and it's a 5108. I have my little multigrade numbers here, and the light bulbs have gone off, so I had to actually put a sticker so I can see this in the dark. Yellow, magenta. You actually never use cyan when you're enlarging black and white, unless you want to do like a neutral density, and that's something a lot of people don't know. If you need to cut off the light, you can add same equal value. So imagine I need more cutting off light, you can actually add like 50 and a 50 to whatever value and 50 to whatever value you have here, and that will give you less light on the easel. So yep, that's basically what's going to be happening. Let's see how this is doing. Oh, 11 seconds. We're going to start washing, which I'm not ready for washing. So let me fill up some water. I usually fill up with normal water. I don't mind the so cold. It doesn't get that cold here. So, yeah, guys, let me know if you have questions. I'm gonna empty this out. That's the fixture I just mixed. So I don't mind using it a few more times sometimes. Depends on what I do. Usually I do a lot of developing in one go. So I can use the fixture like 3-4 times in one day, and then I dump it. So that goes there. Jobo machine, and a lot of people think Jobo machines are actually better for color and E6. And as much as that is true, Jobo machines work better, actually do great with color, because they can retain a temperature, so 38 degrees Celsius, you can stabilize it. For black and white, they're actually just as good. Just 20 degrees is usually a temperature that is too low for a darkroom. Maybe your darkroom's 25 degrees. Maybe you live in, in the desert and water temperature from the tap comes at 30 degrees Celsius. But I actually know how to develop with this in the heat, and I have a system which I've shown I think a few times, but I will make a video just on how I keep my Jobo cool for a few hours when it gets too warm in this darkroom. Because this darkroom does get warm during summer. During winter, not so much. Right now I've had the heating on for a little bit. It's a small darkroom. It doesn't have a lot of time to warm up. It's not as small as the shed from Roger from Shoot Film Like a Boss, but it's fairly small. If someone's curious, from this wall all the way to the other wall, there's like 5 meters, and then from that wall to that wall, there's actually like maybe 2.5 meters or so, and I can touch the roof, so it's not too tall. Actually, the roof was limited not by this huge enlarger, but actually by this other one, which is a Durst 1200. Actually says it here, Labrador 1200. This one is actually taller than my 8x10 one, which is crazy. So let's change the water. I change the water about every 45 seconds or so. And I'm just washing negatives. If you guys want to stick around, I'll show you how the negatives look when I pull them out. Because it's a pretty cool feeling. If no one's ever shot 8x10, and I know it's a hard size to shoot nowadays, even though Intrepid has been making inexpensive cameras for, a year, maybe a bit more, it still is really hard to find things. I'm working on a video on inexpensive lenses, and I mean inexpensive, like sub $500 lenses for 8x10. So I'll be posting that probably in the next 2 weeks or so. Not that it's hard to make, it's just I need to find all the lenses I have for 8x10 that are under $500-ish. Of course, prices are very, relative compared to the market demand and where you're located. But there's a fair amount of lenses that are pretty inexpensive. Lenses for 8x10 that are probably around $200, and they're good lenses. I mean, the best? No, but they're good lenses. And I used a lot of those lenses many times. So yeah, I'll be making that, and I'll be showing you how this looks. These are portraits, so they're going to be fairly white background. It was portraits. I posted a few online. But yeah, now we've got to wash it for a little while. Its Fomapan has this green tint, which is ridiculous. So removing and washing. But the first time you use Fomapan, if you've never used it, it has this green Hulk color anti-halation layer that's crazy. It's just crazy. It looks like Hulk's blood. So yeah, that's it. And I'm going to try to be printing this afternoon. So if you guys want to join me for a live stream printing, even though I can't have a phone while I'm printing, I will show my setup. It's super simple. Just a few trays and that's about it. We'll see. One thing I've been testing is the temperature when you wash, trying to try to get reticulation, and I've never been able to get it. The camera green says the print looks lovely. Thank you, man. Hi from Poland, if I think I read. I just can't touch the screen. It's on a little gimbal thing, so it will go crazy if I touch it. Actually, the focus is going crazy too. Poland, yeah. Hi from Spain, guys. And this is probably the last wash. So last wash. I don't really measure how much water. This is actually a measuring cup for like kitchen. You don't have to buy photography. It actually says here in Spanish, only water. So none of my partners in the darkroom actually use it for chemistry. So this always has just clean water. And that's what I use it for. So I kind of know what a liter, 2 liters are, so I don't measure it. I don't get too concerned with washing. So 45 seconds and we'll just be ready to open the tank. One thing a lot of people don't know about the expert tanks is you don't open them with your hands. It's pretty hard to open because they don't have like a click system like the other ones. It doesn't latch. It just goes into pressure. Actually, it's very fascinating. It kind of feels like the Legos. You know how Legos just latch on without having to have any clicks? Well, it's sort of the same system. 19 seconds. 15 seconds. So to open them, you actually use like a beach pump. And it looks like a beach pump, but it's actually not a beach pump. I don't actually know what it is, but this is the thing you need to open. So you just put pressure into the tank and it pops open. They highly recommend you fill it with water. I don't, but I've never had a problem. It does do much less pop if it's full of water. Someone said, actually I think it was Jobo in the US, said that you can actually break it by not using water in the tank. But a lot of people have problems with water supply, so they actually don't use water. So once it's finished, one thing that the expert tanks do have is a lot of water in them. You see? Because even though the bottom looks sealed, it's actually not sealed. You can see here, there's a hole here, there's another hole here, there's another hole. So when you pull them out, there's always water in them. So now I put it here. You guys can see. Grab the little hose, put it here, and then I pump air. And you see, it popped. Once it pops, you can take the lid off. Lid has to have this little piece here. If not, it won't be sealed to light, and you'll fog all your negatives or expose them to light. And once it's that done, you can see the inside. There's 5 negatives in there. So now I'm gonna pour my washing agent here, of Photoflow. Let me see if I can show you guys how. Oop, the other way around. Okay, so they don't recommend using Photoflow in here. I always used it. So far, I've done over 500 sheets probably of film or more. Never had a problem. So I also don't measure my Photoflow. I don't have the best customs in the darkroom, but it's worked so far for me. Let's see. I'm gonna put this hose. I have garden hoses all over the darkroom, so it's easy to just fill it up. So this is gonna take a while. I try not to make too many bubbles, but it depends on my day. You can pour it up and make some bubbles. It's not gonna kill anyone. And from there, I go to the next. This is just Photoflow. Photoflow, what it does is removes the water on the film. It kind of like makes it dry faster and not have spots. It usually helps if you have like dirty water or lots of what do you call it? In Spanish it's called cal in your water. So there you go. That's almost filled up, and then I fill it up all the way. When you fill it up all the way, the bubbles kind of fall from the ledge. So you guys will see that right now. Then you give it a minute. This is cold water. It's probably 14, 15 degrees, and I've never had a problem. I usually slowly take the temperature down to like 14, 15 degrees, and my negatives don't have a problem. You see how the foam now is coming up and it falls. So don't be so scared about the bubbles at the beginning. I just kind of like help it come out. And now it's turned into much less bubbles. And once I'm almost done, I close a bit of the water. You can even blow them up. And there's basically no bubbles left. So this film is in here. I'm going to flip it around so you guys can see it, or actually I can probably just raise the camera a little bit so you guys can see the negatives when they come out. Let me put a layer I put a layer into my drying cabinet here, and that way you can see it. So that goes here. So that's ready. Now I'm gonna get some little hooks. One thing, when you're shooting large format and you want to hook your film, a lot of people find a hard time to find clips. So these clips actually are for dentists, and they're on eBay for like $1 a pop. And I know it's a lot, but honestly you don't need a lot. And they're awesome little clips. They don't actually make a hole on your film. Let me see if I can focus on them. But they have this little tooth, and it doesn't make a hole on them. Let me see. Come on, phone. Yeah, you can go ahead and see it. So these are awesome. And they're, I'm telling you, like $1 a piece. And I have like 40 of them. And they're awesome. Before that, I used to use Jobo ones, but Jobo actually broke the molds when they had their money problems. And I don't have them anymore. I have a few left. These are the Jobo ones. These were awesome. And I mean awesome. They look simple, but they actually have like a little tooth. You see that metal shiny thing? That actually hooks onto the film. And these are the best to me, but you can barely find them. I paid like $60 for 10 of them back in the day at B&H. So now I've got my little hooks. So now I can probably remove the film. And I use my bare hands. Excuse anybody that's sensitive about it, but that's what I do. So pull it out, and you can see portraits on 8x10. This one actually has a massive light leak. You can see it here. I found out one of my film holders had light leaks, and yeah, it's not been the best feeling. I still develop every single sheet, even though I know it has leaks, because maybe I will print them because the people might like it either way. So that's how I do it. So let me hang it. And now we go for our next sheet. I'm telling you, this is probably the coolest feeling of shooting like large format. This was during a festival I'm staying in Barcelona, and if there's bubbles that I'm scared of, I'll just grab some of the water with Photoflow and wash them off. You can see he's wearing a t-shirt that says "Be analog, be cool." That was like the slogan for the festival. So that is ready to hang. As you can see, these little hooks hold film fine. I've done 11x14 and such, and it holds it perfectly well. So don't be scared. And now, it doesn't work with roll film, but for sheet film, it's like the best thing out there that I found inexpensively. And I took 2 shots of every person, just in case. And some got lucky and got light leaks on both pictures, so that's what happens. That's what happens when you rush around and you haven't tested maybe all the film holders in real light. You actually couldn't see yourself, guys, there. Another 8x10 sheet to dry. 3 out of 5. Now we're going to get the next one. Oh, this was a woman that was South American, and she had this little pinhole camera that she was really excited to be part of. But the depth of field kind of screwed over. I don't know if it'll focus on the negative, but actually depth of field, the little camera is not focused. But still, she asked me if she could have her camera in the picture. I said yeah. She had some sort of sentimental value towards her camera, and I respect that. I feel like we all love our cameras a lot. So there goes number 4, and number 5 is here. This one has even a bigger leg. See it? This one's trash. I still hang it. I kind of learn from my mistakes, and also when I teach, I always take a few mistakes so people see what happens and how to recognize a light leak. You can actually see that the light leak started here. I think one of my film holders wouldn't settle into the camera, so it gave me massive light leaks. So let me just wash my hands a second. Get the Photoflow off my hands. Dry my hands. One thing that's awesome to have in your darkroom is a lot of hand towels. Okay, so let me show you how these look when I hang them. So now they're hung. That's the massive light leak one with the 4x5. Oh, sorry. all sorts of layers. I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel the live stream for now. But guys, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, remember you can leave a comment below. And if you want to see something else in my darkroom, also let me know. So thanks for joining. I'll see you in the normal news on Tuesday. There's quite a bit of news this week, good news. So we'll talk, guys. Thank you. See you later. Let me see. How do I stop this? I always forget. There you go. Bye, guys.